God questions. Honest answers.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of God Questions.
Honest Answers.
We're your hosts, Ross and Mark, and we're so glad that you're listening into this episode. We're back.
We are back. Season 2.
Woo! Yes.
Yes.
I'm so excited. So in this episode, we're just going to kind of give a quick what's ahead and what has changed.
Right.
A few things has changed.
A few things have changed, but a lot has stayed the same.
That is so true. And like this podcast, we're going to still be answering their questions.
That's right. In an honest way.
Yeah, it's so true.
So that's really, if you haven't been a part of this before, so you haven't seen anything from season 1, really the whole purpose of this podcast is we want to answer the questions that you have about God and all things like that. And we do our best to answer them honestly. We are not Rhodes scholars or academic geniuses.
Nor trying to be.
And so really that's the way we approach those answers. Just honestly, obviously there's times as we get into some questions, as we answer them, we'll refer to really smart people that we think are great, but that's not the way we want to try to answer your question. We just want to give you an honest, genuine answer.
Yeah. So if you can picture this podcast, like we're talking on the side of a street in the middle of a grocery store, on your way to work or wherever you're going right now, whatever you're doing, maybe you're just pausing your day to sit and listen and interact with us. That's great. So really making it an easy door to ask some God questions and receive some honest answers.
Right.
So yeah, glad you're joining us. So what has changed? You know, Mark, I was thinking something really important has changed. This is the most important thing. And if you remember in season 1, we asked this really pointed question: how many animals does Mark have in his home?
Yes.
And this has changed. Mark,
It has changed.
and count them all out, but tell us the new addition.
The new addition
to the Mark farm.
The Mark farm. Well, there's actually 5 new additions.
5?
5.
I thought there was only 1.
Well, one big one. We have a new puppy named Joy. Who is a Joy? Joy is like perfectly named.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So that's
puppy.
the big one.
That's the big
4
one.
other ones?
Well, there are 4 turtles that live in Titus's room.
Oh.
So we have 4 turtles that the boys caught this summer, and they're living in his room in a tank, not like just in his
How do you go about catching a turtle?
room.
You just like look in the
There's
ground?
a pond, and then there's a turtle, and the boys jump into said pond.
Yeah.
Grab
said turtle. You know, you can clearly see throughout this podcast that Mark is the outdoorsman and I'm rather the indoorsman. Do you call it that? I don't catch turtles very often or things like that. So, and I love that. I love that we're different that way. But
we are different, yes.
That's 5 new things.
It's 5 new things.
What are the total though?
Total number in our house, there's 2 dogs. So we have Buck, our dog, and then Joy, the new puppy. And then there's the 4 turtles. I can't tell you their names. I don't.
Okay, just the 4 turtles.
Their names. The 4 turtles.
4, 5, 6.
Then there's still Spike, the beautiful little snake. That's not so little anymore. She's my least favorite.
Yeah. She ever get like loose in the house or
no? I mean, unless the kids are carrying her around, but no. She gets out.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
that is all that lives in the house. But then if you step right outside the house, then there's another 10 chickens.
Which you get eggs, I assume, right?
We do get eggs.
Okay. Farm fresh or house fresh?
Yep. House fresh.
House farm.
And then there is the pond outside, and I don't even want to guess how many fish are living in it. But there's a bunch.
That's awesome. Can you go fishing in a pond like that?
The boys do, and they catch goldfish or whatever they put in there.
Yeah,
they catch them and
release.
Catch them and release.
That's a great practice.
Yeah. So that's the changes in the Smith household. But so I know some of you are like, oh man, I've been waiting for season 2 to start, and there was a rather long pause that wasn't ideal,
and it wasn't for the dog.
It wasn't for the dog, but there were some big changes. Mm-hmm. And so, what were the changes for Ross?
Yeah. So the biggest change personally is we had a brand new baby named Marigold, who's so cute.
She is really cute. Imagine, for those of you who are watching, picture Ross, much smaller as a baby girl and cuter.
Yeah, that's her.
That only works if you have a good imagination.
Yeah, that's so true, and they don't. And no, I'm assuming you do. But I think so. We have a baby girl named Marigold. She was new to our family. But before that, I took on a new position at our church.
Yes.
And so instead of being the student pastor, I'm now the lead senior pastor.
That's right.
And that's been a whole new task for me, something I never would have dreamed that I have done. So if you're a part of our church, Called Hope Church, you've probably seen a lot of that and been part of that. If you're not, no big deal. You just kind of know more of my personal, professional life.
Yeah.
And that's why we took such a big pause. So it was nothing to do with the questions that were so great. It was the busy season of new baby, new job, new adjustments.
New puppy.
Yeah, that was a big adjustment and all of that. So we're glad to be back, though. And I know we have so many questions, Mark, kind of in the ringer, ready to be answered honestly. And so I'm super excited about that. But you can kind of picture this season as we walk along with you. And you can ask questions at any time, too.
Yes.
And so are we still asking for questions, right?
Absolutely. So as we start this season, these first handful of questions are ones that were asked last year that we didn't get a chance to respond to. So we're going to start off getting to some of those questions, but we want to hear more questions from you. So any God questions you have, you can send them right to me. You send my email. So mark@ehope.org. Mark spelled the good old fashioned correct way.
M-A-R-K.
There you go. In case you're wondering. So mark@ehope.org. Email them to me. Any questions you have, I'll share them with Ross, and we'll do our best to answer them honestly this season or into next season. And that's part of our goal too, is we want to get into a regular rhythm so that we can keep answering questions, because I think there's really two reasons that we do this podcast. And the first reason is it's fun. I think it's fun to talk about these things and answer them. But secondly, more importantly, these are God questions. These are big questions that have value. That sometimes, I don't know, there's a good place to ask questions. Yeah. So we want to be a place where people can honestly ask questions and get honest answers, and we do our best to do that. So that's why we do this. So we want to keep getting questions so we can keep answering them and keep having fun doing that.
Yeah, because your questions are good questions and worth answering or thinking about. And so be sure to email Mark, M-A-R-K, at ehope, EHOPE.org. And we'd love to answer any of the questions you have. But until the next episode, I think we just wanted to give a little update. And then kind of right following this, we'll post another episode of Question.
Yeah.
So make sure to follow along, subscribe wherever you're at. Listen whenever you can. We can't wait to join you on this journey of answering some big God questions. Until the next one, though, my name's Ross. And I'm Mark. Thanks for listening to God Questions.
Honest answers.
See you in the next one.
All right. Peace. See ya.